In the town of Vidyadharapuram, there lived a gardener named Ramaya. He worked in the orchard of a wealthy merchant named Ramanaya. One particular day, Ramaya arrived late to work, and Ramanaya, always stern and strict, immediately noticed. He angrily confronted Ramaya, questioning why he was late when there was so much work to be done in the orchard. Ramaya, trying to explain, mentioned that he had arrived early but had been delayed because his employer's son, Ravi, had. However, Ramanaya was not one to entertain excuses. Without a hint of sympathy, he ordered Ramaya to immediately start working, instructing him to water all the trees and remove the weeds from the orchard before evening. Ramaya, feeling weak and unwell, hesitated for a moment before humbly requesting some consideration, expressing his need to visit the doctor in the evening. But Ramanaya, ever the miser, dismissed, reminding Ramaya that he was already paid wages and he wouldn't spare a single extra penny for anything else. Disheartened, Ramaya had no choice but to begin his work, his mind burdened with frustration and self-pity. He muttered to himself about his miserable fate, lamenting how he had worked tirelessly all his life. He resented the fact that he had no assets or security, forcing him to toil even in his old age. The unfairness of his life weighed heavily on him, making him wonder if it would have been better to die than to live like this. As he brooded over his fate, the sudden sound of boots tapping against the ground startled him. Tak, tak, tak. The rhythmic footsteps grew louder, and instinctively Ramaya turned around. A man dressed in a neat coat, boots, and a hat approached him, his appearance radiating wealth and authority. Ramaya immediately recognized the man's grandeur and assumed he must be someone important. With a respectful bow, he greeted the stranger and waited for him to speak. The well-dressed man looked directly at Ramaya and asked, "Are you Ramaya, the gardener?" Surprised that the stranger knew his name, Ramaya nodded cautiously. "Yes, sir, I am Ramaya. But who are you, and why have you come looking for me? I don't believe I have ever met you before." The man gave a small smile and responded, "I have never met you either, but do you remember where you worked 10 years ago?" Ramaya thought for a moment before realization dawned on him. "Oh yes, 10 years ago I worked in the orchard of Mahapebulu Subaraju Garu, such a kind-hearted man. Just hearing his name brings back fond memories." The man then questioned why Ramaya had left that job. Ramaya sighed and explained, "Sir, I never left willingly. One day, Subaraju Garu suddenly left for a foreign country without informing anyone. I would never have abandoned him otherwise." The man's face lit up with recognition. This was indeed the Ramaya he had been looking for. But now came the difficult part. With a heavy heart, he informed Ramaya that Subaraju Garu had recently passed away. The news
struck Ramaya like a lightning bolt. Tears welled up in his eyes as he grieved for his former employer.
He mourned the loss of such a righteous and generous man, lamenting that there were few like him in this world. After a while, he looked at the stranger and asked, "But sir, who are you? Are you related to him? Why have you come to see me?" The man shook his head. "No, I am not his relative. I am his lawyer." Before he passed away, he wrote a will, donating large sums of money to various institutions like the village school, hospital, and library. Ramaya's eyes sparkled with admiration. I knew it. He was always a charitable man, even in his lifetime. The lawyer then pulled out a sealed pouch from his coat pocket and placed it in Ramaya's hands. "This is for you. Subaraju Garu instructed me to give it to you as a token of appreciation for your dedicated service." Ramaya's hands trembled as he took the pouch. "He still remembered me after all these years? I can't believe this."
Unsure of what was inside, he requested the lawyer to open it for him. The lawyer unsealed the pouch, revealing 10,000 rupees. Ramaya gasped, overwhelmed with disbelief. He had never seen so much money in his life. With folded hands, he expressed his gratitude, feeling as though God himself had sent this blessing through the lawyer. He carefully took the pouch and hurried home, his heart filled with joy. However, a new concern arose. Where would he keep the money safe? His hut had no doors or locks, making it vulnerable. Adding to his worry was Ravi, his master's son, who frequently played around his hut. After much contemplation, Ramaya made a decision. At dusk, when no one was watching, he went to the ancient banyan tree near the abandoned well in the orchard. Carefully, he buried the pouch beneath its roots, confident that this was the safest place. The next day, Ramaya approached Ramanaya and informed him of his decision to retire and return to his village. Ramanaya pretended to be sympathetic, urging Ramaya to reconsider, but in truth, he was ecstatic. If Ramaya left, the 10,000 rupees his son had stolen would be theirs forever. Meanwhile, the unexpected had happened. The previous evening, Ravi had seen Ramaya hiding something under the banyan tree. Curious, he waited for Ramaya to leave, then quickly dug up the pouch and brought it home. Handing it to his father, he declared triumphantly that he had stolen it without Ramaya noticing. Ramanaya, upon seeing the money, was overjoyed. His greed blinded him to everything else as he counted the money again and again, reveling in his newfound fortune. The next morning, Ramaya left, his heart at peace. Feeling proud of himself, Ravi gloated. "That old man thought he was clever, but I tricked him. Now he has nothing." His father chuckled. "That's why I didn't keep a single paisa from his wages. Let him leave happily." Then Ravi curiously asked, "Father, where did you hide the money?" Ramanaya leaned in and whispered, "I hid it back under the banyan tree, near the abandoned well, exactly where Ramaya had hidden it." Ravi froze in shock. "What? That's the same place where I found the pouch. You put it back in the same spot?" Realizing his blunder, Ramanaya fell silent, his face draining of color. Meanwhile, Ramaya returned to the banyan tree. Finding his pouch undisturbed, he sighed in relief. Ah, righteousness still prevails. Now I can live peacefully elsewhere. And with that, he took his money and left, while Ramanaya and Ravi, who had attempted to steal from him, ended up losing even their own share.